Well, this afternoon we're out at Lyle Peacock Field and we're with the new Scorpions coach, Adam Bettridge. Thanks for coming on the show, Ads.
No worries, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Mate, let's get into the preview. First game on Saturday, Cessnock take on West. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, look, I think obviously everyone knows West are the benchmark this year, and I think they've been outstanding, especially in their forwards. I thought their forwards have been really, really dominant so far, and even travelling to Cessnock, I'd like to think West will probably get the points up there. But in saying that, Cessnock were good at home against us, and probably bit disappointed in their effort last week, I'd say, against South, so I'm sure they'll be up for it.
Sunday's clash, Central play Curry. Curry really pushed Western Suburbs last week up at the Graveyard. Yeah,
Curry's one of them teams that have taken the top few sides right to the wire, and I think, with Terrence back at 9, I think it's the best I've seen Terrence play in a long time at 9, and Central are down on form at the moment, and they wouldn't be happy with where they are. But I just think they're going to have to really turn it around if they're going to beat that Curry side. And I think Curry are only a few games away from stringing a few wins together.
One of the sides that are travelling along pretty nicely at the moment is South, and they take on the Pickers. Poor old Pickers, they've been trying, but they just haven't been able to get 2 competition points so far.
Yeah, look, I said to Trevor after the game last week, I think his side's going really well for a young side. I feel for Trevor, he's in a position where he has a really young side with probably not too much experience, and probably last week in key points of the game might have cost him a bit, but are they going to beat South? I don't think so. I think South are going really well at the moment. Look, the loss of Steve Witters will really hurt South. He's been really good for him for the last few years, but I think this year you've seen the form of Higgins at 9. Rodham has really stepped up, and Willie Hedder's played pretty controlled football this year. So also like both their back rows, they're big and strong and got a good ball carry. So I think Maitland might find it a bit tough. But in saying that, I don't think they're too far away from a win.
The whole Newcastle Rugby League world's talking about the big Sunday clash featuring your boys up against Lakes United, the grand final rematch. Hopefully a little bit of revenge come Sunday.
Oh yeah, look, it is a rematch as such, but I'd like to think we've got a lot of new staff out here. We'll have 7 players that didn't play in last year's grand final, and I'm sure Dean's the same at Lakes. While the game will carry some significance to some people, we just see it as another opportunity to get 2 points, and we've got to start beating a few of these teams that are higher up the ladder now than us, and there's no better way to do it than Carl Oval on Sunday.
Mate, how's your time since you've come out here to Toronto? You having good fun?
Yeah, I am, mate. I am. I'm really happy with the decision I made. It's an area that they're really, really passionate about their football, something I've probably never seen before. And people that know me know how passionate I am about my football, so it works well for me. Good to see the club going well in all grades, not just first grade. So at the moment, I'm happy, mate. But look, there's areas we need to improve on if we're going to be there at the end of the year, and we understand that.
Mate, what's the latest with your injuries? How's Abraham travelling at the moment?
Yeah, Daniel's he's probably got another week on the sideline. He'll be looking at play against South next week. And Scott Briggs will be back for the second round, so he'll probably play against Cessnock here in early June.
Mate, you're looking pretty fit yourself, eh? What's going on there?
Nah.
You might get a run on Sunday.
Nah, mate, it's just the clothes, mate. Slim in colour, how it is. Nah, mate, just
yeah, I know.
Mate, just enjoy my time out here, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of the year.
Fantastic, mate. We've got a new segment on the show. What grinds your gears? Is there anything that really grinds your gears as far as football goes?
There is, mate. There is. I'm big on grinding gear. What grinds my gears, Pete, is the dropout rate in Newcastle in rugby league and the lack of effort to rebuild football in this town. I think it's really sad at the moment. You see so many different teams dropping out, whether it be in Lower Hunter, whether it be in Newcastle Rugby League, or kids' participation in sport. And I see a lot of money. They talk about all this money that's getting pumped into the NRL and that, and I'd just like to see that happen here on the local front at the grassroots level. I think this great game of ours is going to suffer in years to come. You look at the rate that soccer's growing and whatnot, and people are sitting back going, oh, we're losing a lot of kids, but when we sit back, what are we doing about it? And that's one of my big things around town, and we're trying out here at the Lake to engage our junior clubs and do whatever we can for them. But I'd just like to see, as an overall picture, the National Rugby League step in and maybe say, look, guys, this is what we need to do. Look, there's no short-term fix, but if we can do something to help grow the game in this town, I think it'd really be beneficial for football.
So in other words, it's also got to come from the top, not just the grassroots.
Oh, for sure, but it comes from both too. It comes from us as a senior club. We should be looking after our juniors, and then hopefully it'll flow on from there. And then obviously the Knights, I'd like to see the Knights get out and about a bit more with the local clubs. But it's not just the Knights that are part of this. It's about the Newcastle comp and us as clubs taking ownership of it as well. So once that all happens, you'd like to think that we can see some figures that maybe might improve, but just to sit with our hands tied behind our back, I don't think it's the right thing to be doing.
That's what grinds your gears.
That's what grinds my gears, Pete.
All right then, mate. Well, thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate it. We'll see you out at Lakes on Sunday, and all the best, hey?
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
Good on you. Until next week, we'll see you then. Bye for now. It's good to have Mr. Sumner on the show. How are you, Mr. Sumner?
Good, thanks, mate.
Mate, thanks for coming on and sitting in the hot seat. We really do appreciate it. The boys tell me you love a little bit of television.
Not really, mate. I'm not very confident on TV.
Good start so far.
Not used to it.
Mate, we're here at training tonight. You just finished training. How was it tonight?
We trained pretty well. Got through our went through the motions. Yeah.
Talk to me about targeting players on Sunday. Who are the main dangers for Lakes?
Main people we've really spoke about is really, Chris Adams, Brad Murray, and probably Charles out in the centres. Yeah, but they're pretty tough all round.
Yeah, so I guess limiting those guys, you limit the control and the line speed and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the more we kick the corners and play in their half sort of limits Chris Adams and Brad Murray.
There's a lot of hype about a grand final rematch, but I guess that's yesterday's news, isn't it? I mean, this Sunday it's all about getting the 2 competition points.
Yeah, that's right. We haven't spoken about the grand final or anything like that at all. So, yeah, we're just going to go over there and hopefully get the job done.
But how would you sum up the team's performance heading into round 6?
Well, we won our last 3, but I think if we're going to beat teams like Lakes and your Western Lakes and that, we're going to have to be better than what we have been.
How do you beat Lakes? Which areas? What's been spoken about?
Oh, Chris Adams, Brad Murray. They've got some pretty crafty outside backs, and they've got some good forwards. So to beat them, you sort of, you've got to be on your game. Everyone out there, your 17 players have got to play well, because they've got strength across the park. But our main focus this week has just been us, doing what we need to do, improving on some things from last week, and if we do that, hopefully we'll get the 2 points. If not, we'll go back to the drawing board and just continue to improve.
In the media, you try to build up a story, but the grand final rematch, I guess that's what everyone's calling it, but it's all about just getting the 2 competition points on Sunday, I think.
Yeah, it is, mate. It is. We've got a lot of new players in our team. I'm not sure about them. I haven't seen their side, but we've just got to go over there, and we need the 2 points. We've been on a bit of a roll lately, so in saying that, we haven't been playing at our best, but hopefully this weekend we will. Always a tough game over there at Cahill.
Mate, you were in camp last week, I guess, with the likes of the Murrays and the hookers in that. How do you stop their hooker and 5/8 on Sunday?
Probably the key to it, mate, is just slowing down their forwards. So Chrissy can't get out of dummy half, mate. That's probably the key. And hopefully Brad and obviously their outside centres and that there too are quality. Probably just taking time off them would go a long way to helping us out.
Yeah, just here at Lakes training, going to interview a couple of the players. Charlesy. Nah, here with a young gun, Jack Kelly. Jack, can we have a quick chat? Burjo? We'll have to jump inside. Burjo, can we have a quick chat, mate? Nah. Going for a shower. A couple of the boys getting rubs tonight. Young back row, Chris Randall. Chris, have a quick chat with us, mate. Go over and talk to Chris Adams' brother Cal, just sitting over here having a few words with a couple of the Central Coast boys. 2 of the young Central Coast boys, Matt Craig and Callan Adams. Cal, what's it like to be Chris's brother?
Yeah, it's good. I think it's more of the spotlight's on me this year. Obviously, he's getting a bit old in the tooth.
Who's your favourite brother, Chris or Ted?
I'll look at you as an idol. Brother-wise, probably Ted. He's less intimidating.
Here with winger Matty Craig. Matty, couple of tries the other day. How'd that feel?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. A bit lucky with the boys who I've got inside me, so yeah, hopefully get a few more.
Looking forward to the weekend? Perfect. All right. We'll get one more. Back row, Dill Harton. 2 tries in the last 2 weeks. Dill, just a quick one before you go. Obviously coming back from an injury, mate. How you feeling for the weekend?
Yeah, mate, fit and ready to go.
How many tries are you going to score?
Oh, no. I don't know. See how many halfback can put me through for, mate.
Beautiful. Anyone else? And a couple of boys lifting weights or pretending to. Young Stone, son of Rick. Get Rick back to the Knights. Stoney, just quickly, how'd you go in the New South Wales Cup on the weekend?
Oh, we got pumped.
What was the score?
48-4 or something.
48-4. Good luck on the weekend, mate. Yeah, we'll just race over quickly to the coach, Dean Noonan. Dean, can we have a quick chat? Dean, here with Coach Dean Noonan. Dean, bit of a slow start to the year, but the boys are starting to warm up.
Yeah, we are, Brad. As long as you're happy, that's the main thing.
Not really, but we'll talk about that later. Who's impressed you this year?
I thought our young fullback, Jamie Gilmore, has been pretty good for us.
What about your halfback?
Some work to be done there. Chris Randall. Yeah, Chris Randall's been not too bad either.
And what are your thoughts on the weekend, mate?
Oh, look, grand final replay, big game. We obviously know that. We're going to have to be up for it, and we'll see how we go, eh?
Thanks, Dean. I'll see you on Sunday.
No problems.
Chris, come back. Jamie, our injured fullback. Jamie, can we just have you quickly? How are you, Jamie? Right, Jamie Golomir, our Lebanese fullback. Mate, tell us a little bit about the injury.
It's coming along well, mate. Hopefully I'll be back real soon.
When do you think you'll be back?
Hopefully Maitland, mate.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, good luck with it, mate. All right, guys, that's just a couple of Lakes boys getting ready for the... actually, we've got one more rep player, Marcel Ikanofo, yo. Marcel, a couple of tries on the weekend. Good fun?
Yeah, no, good fun. Playing off good half, Jack Kelly, and just getting the basics right.
Looking forward to playing Canberra in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be a tough game, and a long trip to Dubbo, so it should be alright.
Beautiful. Well, that's it from Lakes, guys. See you next time.
They beat us out here in the last.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome along to Bar TV's live and exclusive coverage of the Newcastle Rugby League Sunday afternoon football out here in Belmont. Today's clash, Lakes United Seagulls taking on the Macquarie Scorpions. As you can see right now, the home side are on the park and they now await their opposition in the Macquarie Scorpions. Well, it's a great thrill to be able to introduce our co-commentator. He's back. Craig Miller, welcome back to the commentary box.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Mate, how do you see this one going today?
Oh, well, it's a grand final replay, so that both sides are travelling along all right again, but it'll count for nothing. I think it's going to be a really hard game.
Down on the touchline this afternoon, thanks to Benedict Recycling Scoreboard, we welcome Morgan Campbell. Good afternoon to you, Morgan.
Afternoon, Peter. This should be a belter today. It was probably the game of the season in the grand final last year. Both sides pretty much threw caution away and just attacked from the beginning. And I suspect it might be a bit like that today. Both these sides have had a pretty patchy start of the season. Lakes have lost to South, of course, and had a draw with Curry. Macquarie started the season with 2 defeats. So both of them need this today. The loser out of this game will be just starting to lose touch with the top couple of sides.
Okay, down on the touchline. We'll go to Morgan throughout the match. Thanks to Benedict Recycling Scoreboard, our broadcast partner in 2016. We couldn't do it without our friends at Top Better. Get in the game at topbetter.com.au. Well, we might quickly go through the Lakes United Seagulls side as they'll take to the field today. At fullback is Kyle Kennedy. On the wings is Matt Craig and also Jackson Davis. The 3 and 4 is Ikanofo and Josh Charles. The 6 and 7 is Jack Kelly and Brad Murray. The 8 is Sean Boss. 9 is Chris Adams. Casey Burgess in 10. Dylan Harton in 11. Chris Randall in 12. And James D-Sacks locking the scrum. The interchange bench for the Seagulls looks this way. Callan Adams in 14. Jake Sullivan in 15. Chance Burgess in 16. And Josh Diaz in 17. The Macquarie Scorpions will quickly go through him before kick-off. At fullback is Matt Simon. On the wings is Ryan Pywell and also Matt Hay. Centre 3/4 of Varvielli and Cantor. Hyde and Sumner in 6 and 7. Briggs, Noble, Swadling, Schmidl and Allen. And Blake Gallen in the lock forward position. The interchange bench for the Scorps, Adam Grew, Alchin, Foster, and two-time NRL Player of the Year. He's back from a broken arm this afternoon in Danny Vaughan. Let's go through the commentary box for a quick tip. Morgan, who are you favouring this afternoon down on the touchline?
Yeah, I think Lakes, but in a close one. I think the home crowd might just carry them home.
Craig?
No, I agree. I think Lakes have got them at home. I just worry about where Macquarie's going to get their points from.
Okay, well, we're underway. Round 6 of the Newcastle Rugby League. Many have built this up throughout the week as the grand final replay. But speaking to both coaches throughout the week, they don't want any of that talk. This comes down to going home with 2 competition points. So first set of 6 here on Sunday afternoon football. Join in the conversation on bartvsports.com.au and work your fingers to your telephone at Bar TV on the Twitter account. So the Seagulls now with their first opportunity to strike, and they run straight into Sumner, and of course that is Kyle Kennedy. They'll play it back down to Craig. He runs hard and straight into Sumner, and he's going to be dropped down now, 38 metres out from his own line. Adams goes short. Not a bad start here for the Seagulls. They got the opportunity to strike on the 30, and now on the third tackle they come forward through Randall, who crosses the halfway line and is met there by Simon Allen. So back away to Adams. It comes back through the back line, away to Kelly, to Murray. They go out wider again. This is Kennedy. He goes straight through. And Shamidal wraps him up. Last tackle now for the Seagulls. 1.5 minutes gone. Back off the boot of Murray. High kick. Whirl spinning around, and Pye comes down with it there, Craig, 10 metres out from his own goal line.
Yeah, it's a good set from Lakes. They just settled it down and spin the ball over to the left and found a little bit of space. So just a good settling set, and they just got straight into their system straight away.
Let's go down to the touchline. Morgan Campbell, what's that wind doing out there, mate?
Yeah, it's pretty breezy. It's coming from left to right on the screen, so favouring Lakes in the first half. So we might see a few kicks into the corners, and maybe you might see the halves have a jab at a 40-20 at some stage.
So that was Swadling. Gives it back there now to Noble. They go forward. They're about to go to the halfway line here. And playing the ball there is Blake Gallen, Macquarie's leading place scorer. And also highest point scorer of the year for Macquarie, the club. 9 competition points he's been able to secure himself. So the Seagulls here with their second touch of the afternoon. That's Jackson Davis. Now, just looking at the program, James Varka, the try-scoring wizard. He's no longer in the side today, pulled out with a bit of an injury earlier this afternoon. So that allows Jackson Davis to come into the squad in jersey number 5. They're also without Ben Sams this afternoon in the 8 jersey as they look to come out to the eastern side of the field. Lovely pass, I thought for a moment, from Bad Murray. But didn't quite go the way in the end there, Craig.
No, he double pumped it and he just got a little bit pretty. They had the shape and they should have gone with his first option. So handed over with field positions, a bad error.
So back to Gallen. Cuts out one. They come out wide. Who wants to go forward? They're going across field. Now they look to straighten the play up. And they're dropped down there. Simon plays it back. Macquarie go forward through Simon Allen. He'll be hard to put down. And he's finally on his back. That's Noble, giving it away to the right-hand side. Gallen goes out wide to Hyde. Hyde's got runners back on the inside. Back to Simon. Steps. Jinks still going. Elusive, dangerous and crafty.
Lacking a bit of organisation, aren't they, Peter? Very side to side in this set.
As they come from Gallen, they come away to the right-hand edge. Storming their way through, this is Shamidal. That was the last tackle, though, there, Craig. Change over right on their own goal line.
Yeah, it's always been interesting for me, Chris Hyde at 5'8". I haven't seen really how that works. A couple of seasons ago, he was your best 9 in the competition, and I still reckon that's the most important position in the comp. So to move someone like Hyde to 6, they must have a pretty good hooker in the squad these days.
John Taylor, our referee out in the middle, officiating Sunday afternoon football here on Bar TV Sports. This is Casey Burgess.
He still gets them back 15.
That's Adams. Nothing's changed.
No, he doesn't want to run.
Craig Miller giving us his expert opinion. Speaking of running to the gap, he'll do that all day, Chris Adams.
Yeah, for me, the best player in the competition. I think he showed that year in last couple, and then at Lakes last year, he takes them from last to first. It's no fluke.
So it's Matt Simon at the back. Look out for him. We know he's got speed to burn, loves to get ball into open space. Quickest, one of the quickest anyway, Bettridge was saying to me, at the club this year. Matt Simon. That's why he's at fullback. This is Cantor. That's a better run. Put away there by Sean Boss. So they come back down through the middle of the field. This is Noble. In 9. They go along the ground. That's exactly what they do. They're coming through. They're coming through. All right, they could score here. They have scored. Cantor has come up with an absolute beauty. Macquarie lead 4-0.
Well, I don't know about the kick. There was plenty of elevation on the second one, and he just won the race. A few of those Lakes players, I think, stood still a little bit there, not expecting you to loop it up in the air, but he did tremendously well to control the kick ahead and then to get there first and get the ball down inside the dead ball line. A tremendous bit of work from Nathan Cantor.
It was. Let's come back up to the commentary box. Here's Craig Miller.
Yeah, another interesting move by Adam Garn this season with Nathan, again, one of the better fullbacks in the competition, being moved to centre. And again, I think he showed his class there. He didn't panic. He and finished the job. He's always been a high finisher, and he's got an easy try. I just think realistically that the first 5-10 minutes has all been a little bit friendly for a Macquarie Lakes game, and I think Lakes probably deserved that little.
They go along the ground. That's exactly what they do. They're coming through. They're coming through. All right, they could score here. They have scored. Cantor has come up with an absolute beauty. Macquarie lead 4-0.
Well, I don't know about
I know somebody who might have been up all night. Morgan Campbell, were you up all night?
Yeah, there might be reduced output from me today.
I think he comes from over that way somewhere, doesn't he?
Oh, he might do.
Yeah, I think he's an Englishman.
He is now. We've just provided him with his British passport.
It was interesting what Craig said before the game. He said didn't know where Macquarie would get their points from. I don't think they would have expected to get them from something like that. I mean, the kick didn't have too much culture about it, and it was just the bounce of the ball and a bit of invention from Cantor. The structure of their attack in general looked a little bit lacking so far.
The thing that strikes me, and we saw it last year, Adam's influence in last season was that they're just a lot more composed. They're not looking for the garbage anymore, and they're happy to go through their sets, which is a new Macquarie really for us that have been around a long time. So it's good to see that they've got their mind on what they need to do to win games of football and not carry on with the bullshit.
Craig Miller there. As we see now, the Macquarie Scorpions been able to score first here this afternoon, thanks to Nathan Cantor.
Swaddling's getting no smaller.
He's not running any less hard either.
Let's go down to the touchline. We're just looking over at the board here. Can you confirm that goal, Morgan, or did he miss it?
No, I think he kicked it, Peter.
He kicked it?
We'll have to have a look on the replay, but I think he kicked it.
Okay.
We've got no scoreboard here today. It's very high tech. We had a couple of kids up there earlier who were putting the number plates up on the board, but they've obviously gone on smoker, so there's nothing happening at the moment. So you're going to have to keep count in the book, I think.
Look, I'm pretty sure Dean's got a game plan of not going through the middle and just settling them up and trying to go around them a little bit, which is probably a game plan that most sides come up against Macquarie. You just want to get them on the edges. You don't want your young blokes here mixing it with Swaddling and Gallen. So here we go again, moving the ball. They're just not executing.
Yeah, new fullback in the team today with Jamie Goulmere out of action. Cole Kennedy's in there, and that might affect their attack when they do those backline sweeps. The timing might not quite be right.
So this is Sean Boss. He doesn't want to go into the ground. They haven't been able to get outside their own half here until now through the kick. Goes straight down to Ryan Pybel. Picked up 3 tries this year for Macquarie.
Sorry, I coached Pyle at West. That wasn't Pyle.
They've actually changed their jerseys around, Craig.
That's Pyle.
Actually, the whole back line is different to what we have here in the program. So Pybel's in 5. Varvey Eli, going by the naked eye, is in 4. Looks like Cantor now goes to 3 and Matt Hayes in 2.
Macquarie have never been known to comply, mate, so this is all part of it.
This is a week in, week out thing with Macquarie. They swap front rowers, they swap wingers and centres and all this sort of thing. I think they just like to keep Bar TV on their toes.
Well, guess what? We've fought back well this afternoon. We've got it worked out.
Yeah, the committee up here will sort it out.
So there you go. Lucky we can identify through face value. Otherwise, we could have been struggling this afternoon.
It's one of the beauties. It's local footy, mate.
Craig Miller, great to have him in the box. Former coach in the Newcastle Real NRL with the Western Suburbs Rosellas, giving us his analysis right here this afternoon. Looking for their second try of the afternoon now, the Scorps. This is Briggs, runs straight into Boss. So 6 points to nil. A little bit of niggle there as he's playing the ball back. He wants to go on with it. Still trying to go on with it in the background there. Isaac Briggs.
He slapped him, I think.
He did. Referee Taylor said, get on with it. He's going to have another crack here, Briggs. And this is brewing. And a little bit of a clash here between Briggs and Boss. Well, it erupted the first time around and it went the distance the second time around.
I think it was actually pulled up for a forward pass from Blake Gallen, and then after Isaac Briggs made the contact, that's when it all kicked off. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll have to have a look at the replay, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of a headbutt in there from possibly one of the Lakes players on Briggs. He was certainly complaining about it. But it's bubbling away, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's Macquarie, isn't it? And the Briggses bring this to the game, and that's no problem.
Get on with it. He's going to have another crack here, Briggs.
And
this is brewing.
Big Isaac. And,
Yep.
I
think it's gone for the headbutt. He then went up. He's a bit cheeky because I think he appealed for it to the referee.
And a little bit of a clash here between... Well, they can put them on report this year.
Wow, I've been asking for that for years, but it's good to see they finally did it. Hello, it's gone the wrong way.
Well, hang on. I reckon they've got away with one here because I reckon that pass from Blake Gallen was forward and Taylor called it up, and then the swinging arm has resulted in a penalty. So Lakes have given a cheap one away here.
They're going to go for 2. Craig, did the referee get that one right?
Johnny gets most of them right, but I'll probably debate that with him again. But I'm always wrong when I debate with John, so I'll go with him.
Keep the peace. So this to give them an 8-point buffer here.
And this is what you do with Macquarie. If you're not on your game, and I think their last 2 sets, Lakes have really done nothing with it. Forward pass, drop ball on a backline shift, and if you invite Macquarie into these little arm wrestles, they're going to come out on top. Lakes have to be better than this. I think they've got the right plan to go to the edge, but they're just not executing at this stage.
Seem to be lacking a bit of energy, don't they, Craig? They're just not quite. They're not hitting as hard as they usually would. They're not as quick through the back line.
Yeah, look, I think when you win a premiership and they've gone and did what they did last year, it was an amazing effort from the club. Not only in first grade, they turned this whole club around. They've got every grade up there, and to do what they did last year and then to come up early in the season and back that up where everyone else is coming to get you, it's not easy. And you have these slumps, and you learn a little bit about yourself. I know they're in good hands, and they'll come through this. And we've got a long way to go here today, anyway.
So we're back underway, 8 points to nil here on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard as the Macquarie Scorpions. Petrich said that they were ready for this clash. And so far, his words are so true. Early days yet.
Blake Gallen must be feeling a bit relaxed today. He's only played 1 game of rugby league today so far. He, of course, played 2 last week. Played 60 minutes for the Newcastle Rebels up at Morrie Breen Oval. Got in the car, drove up to Maitland and played off the bench for Macquarie against Maitland. And then, according to the Herald, went pig shooting. That's a fair day's labours.
Yeah, he's always been a competitor. He loves it. He'll be anything. If there's something going on, he'll be in it.
There's a decent-sized crowd here this afternoon at Lakes 2. Morgan down on the touchline. It's very noisy, which is great to see. Great atmosphere. One
of the great things about this ground is that most of the crowd are all in the one place. They're all up in this grandstand. So when Lakes are on top, they make plenty of racket. And we certainly saw last year they got them home in a few close ones.
So Simon Allen, 21 metres away from the Seagulls line, rolling it forward. Straight up the middle they come. Noble awaits. Gets it away to Gallen. He finds Hyde. Out the back to Simon. He's got his support. And Pywell is within 4 metres out from the line. Varvielli. Short by 3 metres. Noble goes a dummy half. They find Gallen. What a pass out the back. They're close. They're held up, are they?
Knock on.
Lost the football over the line. But what about Gallen? Tell me he's got a passing game in him, will you?
Yeah, he's got a fair bit in him, but I think that what you're seeing here in this first 15 minutes, Dean Noonan wouldn't be happy with it all. You've seen some sloppy handling, and then when in defence they're giving away soft tries. And, if you look at the wrestle and the speed of the ruck, it's all too friendly. So Macquarie are right on top here.
They're hungry and they're eager. And Adams certainly controlling him well thus far. That's Josh Charles with the football. Taken to the ground there by Thiessen. Varvielli back to Adams. Speaking of him, he's trying to get involved a lot more. Good offload out the back. And they're down now, Craig, to the 40-metre line.
Yeah, you're spot on with Chris Adams. He'll know when his forwards aren't going forward. He'll take it upon himself. He's at a competitor. But here you go again with the shift. This is what they want to do. And if they execute it well, I think it's the right way to go.
Ikanofo, he's not going anywhere but down into the tackle there of Nathan Cantor. They come back through the middle of the field. They're looking for hole runners. They find James Desaks. And Blake Gallen wraps him up back through the middle of the park, back to Murray. He's going to go high to the air. Pywell's out there. Can he take it well this time? He does exactly that. And he runs straight into James Desaks. And he's brought down 15 metres out. Let's go down to the sideline. Morgan Campbell's down there this afternoon for Benedict Waste Recycling. As we see a bus made up the middle of the field. They come to Kennedy. The race is on. Cantor still going. Kennedy still trying to tackle him. And finally put down there from Jackson Davis.
Yeah, again, through the middle, soft. As I said, all the signposts are there for Lakes. They're just not in the contest at the moment. And Macquarie all over them, play 3 with a penalty. There's another soft one. Another soft set. You'd expect points. At the moment, I'd be tipping a try in this set.
So we've stopped the clock here. We've had 18 minutes in the first half. I'd love to know how many times Lakes have been on the attack inside the Macquarie Scorpions half, Craig. Not many whatsoever.
No, I think they made half a break in the first few minutes in that first set, but since then they've probably only got to the kick 2 or 3 times. Ineffective, give away a simple penalty coming out of yardage for Macquarie, and being under the pump. This little rest will do them world of good, but.
So he comes back there now, and they're about 5 metres away. Adams gets off them. Plays the ball back now, Shamidal. They cut out Gallen. They come out wide. Is there something about to loom again? This is Cantor. He's within 2 metres of the line. Seagulls under the pump right here and on the scoreboard. Is the scoreboard about to change in this set of 6? Bettridge hoping so. Let's stick with the action. This is Noble again. Numbers to the right-hand side. Subner, he goes short and driven down there was Shamidal.
So what all you're thinking here is you're not thinking try, you're thinking repeat set. That will tell me whether Macquarie are really matured and are real serious about taking this Adam coach side. They should understand that it's not about points, it's about getting to your kick.
Last tackle now. Let's see if they can get a repeat back. Look for the kick in towards the end goal area if they can't get the try instead.
See, that's what I mean. That's when, you really need to win a premiership and be in the A game. You need to be making sure that you understand that you just need to get to the end of the kick, be tidy and put pressure. That just takes the pressure off Lakes a little bit.
I tell you what, if he'd have taken that, Peter, he was over though. Must be said, Ryan Pywell. They'd opened it up nicely for him there, and I think if it was a pretty dodgy pass, but if he'd have taken it, he probably could have strolled over.
Craig, Macquarie, they've got 9 new players in this side today that did not go around in the grand final last year. So they're a new squad, but they're full of exuberance, I guess. How do you sort of balance flair with with experience. How do you get the balance?
Yep, he's got a good break from Lakes up through the middle, a good little offloads. Listen, Macquarie are a club that just are desperate to win a premiership, and what I think they've done is they've appointed a really good coach, a young coach, and understands what needs to be done. As I said, I started to see some polish come into the place last year, so I know Adam's going to be the biggest influence on that club, and if he's got a lot of young people around him, that they'll support the new systems and what he's trying to develop. So, I think they're in good hands. I think they're in a really strong position to get that elusive grand final that they haven't had since 1990.
Mate, you've been to many a grand final. How difficult is it the year after a grand final? Now, I know you've gone to plenty back to back, but for Lakes, they're young, they're fresh as well. Does it take a while to get your rhythm going the next year? Are you still coming off that grand final win? What goes on? What's the mentality?
Yeah, well, you've got to just turn to your senior players, and Brad Murray and Chris Adams. They know what it's all about, and they've just got to reload. They won't be bathing any glory from last year, but the opposition start giving you a lot more respect, and the build-up for games are a lot more. The crowd's expectations are a lot more. So it is definitely harder to go back-to-back. But again, if you've got yourself around the right people, they'll be fine. And Dean Noonan's a great coach in himself, so I'm sure they're not worrying about last year too much. They've got to sort what's happening out here at the moment. It's all a bit too quick.
The last tackle, charge down there from Casey Burgess. Here's trouble for Macquarie.
There's a hint of obstruction there. I think it was Chris Hyde who was hauled over. The play goes on, though.
And I'll come back to the error of Pywell in the corner. You just get your kick down there, and this last 3 minutes is a different game, and that's where you don't understand the error that actually turns the game around, and now Macquarie, from not completing that set, and now put themselves under pressure.
So we haven't seen this much, have we, on our screens? Attacking 20 metres out, but they're about to do that now. As we see Cantor coming up quickly in the line to drop Kennedy on his back. Ikonofo awaits in a dummy half. They come short, rolling it forward. They're only 2 metres away from crossing for the first time this afternoon. They kick it in the end goal area. Here's a chance. There's a try. It was brewing, and now it's brewed. First try for Lakes. Pretty much the first time they've been 10 metres out from the Macquarie line, Craig.
Yeah, well, it was a great kick from Kelly. I was very impressed with the way he orchestrated that. He went down the right-hand side. You thought he was going to go back to the left, and he come back down here and just found some tired players, and executed the kick very well. So, they needed that. They weren't into in the game there for a long period, but this will just settle them down and get back into their systems. I'm also interested in Brad Murray playing on the left. All the years he was at West, and he's always played the right-hand side. So for him to be moved from the right to the left, and I know he can handle that. He's left to right, and right to left's as good as either side. But he's better off that right foot. So Kelly must be pretty special on this right-hand side to move Brad Murray.
So we haven't seen this much, have we, on our screens? Attacking 20 metres out, but they're about to do that now.
Cornelius Crumps.
As we see Cantor coming up quickly in the line to drop Kennedy on his back.
Yep.
Ikonofo awaits in a dummy half.
Could have come through
come
with
short.
their affiliation.
Rolling it forward.
You can see here they got to the post. You would think they're going to
go 2 metres away from crossing for the first time this afternoon. They kick it in the end
yeah,
goal area. Here's a chance. There's a try. It was brewing, and now it's brewed. First try for Lakes.
Here's Murray.
Pretty much 21 metres out. Coming back around, but he's just sprayed it to the left. So no change on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard. It's 8-4 in favour of the Macquarie Scorpions here on home soil. Let's go down the touchline. What's your thoughts of the match so far? Here's Morgan Campbell.
Well, it's just building, isn't it? It's just bubbling away. Lakes, as Craig said, get themselves into the game with that try. They've been a little bit slow and a little bit unenthused so far. But it'll be interesting to see what they come up with now. Macquarie, I think, need to brace themselves for a big surge.
So the Seagulls flying their way back into this contest.
That was Danny Vaughan, and he's going back. A nice tip.
So Vaughan's out there in 16.
And just on Danny Vaughan, Pete, is a tougher player that's played in certainly in the last as long as I can remember, you wouldn't have found a tougher person, tougher competitor for what he's been through, knee reconstructions and broken arms. He just keeps turning up, and he's an inspiration to that club. And again, not competing points after set after points is it just tells me that mentally they're not in tune with what they need to do.
So that's Noble giving it away to the man we just had a chat about in Danny Vaughan. He's picked up the Newcastle Rugby League Player of the Year award many a time. And that's just a testament to his character and also rugby league ability.
Look, if I was either coach, and I know them both very well, and they would be not happy with either side at the moment. Flick passes, trying to score off for every set, penalties coming out of yardage. We're getting all the undisciplined stuff for two class sides. Half time might be interesting.
A lot of kids in here today as we see a shot there of the crowd looking on.
Great opportunity for Macquarie here, 20 out. And very, very well placed. Let's see what they come up with.
So Macquarie coming to today's clash, sitting 6th on the competition ladder. Played 5, won 3, and they've lost 2 so far this year. Looking to go back across the lake with the competition points.
I think with the extra couple of rounds this year, you don't need to panic too early, whatever round we're in. I think there's still plenty of time for these better sides, even if they do get off the pace a little bit, with West getting beat yesterday. And, I think that the competition, I know that Curry, I've seen them, and they're looking real good, and I think they've only won 1 or 2. So there's still plenty to play for, and there's a long way to go in this competition.
So Denny Vaughan, last tackle signalled by Taylor.
Bit short to the left here.
That's the way they come. Simons with the football. Elusive, losing the ball. He tried to put the boot to it, but in doing so, he's just dropped it cold.
Peter, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but again, just trying to score off every play. It's just it'll give you a sloppy game. It's not gonna cut it against the big sides. I know it's only early, but both sides just need to settle down and go through their sets.
So Marcel Ikanofo takes his side out to the 20-metre line here at Carl Oval. This is Matt Craig. Better run. The comp's leading try scorer, Matt Craig. And on the back of that, they've been able to come to the 40-metre line.
Here's Adams again, look, he knows when he needs to go forward. He takes a dart and he gets his side 20 valuable metres, gets him on the front foot.
Analysis there from Craig Miller. That's Adams. Murray. Simon's got to go away and play at it. He's right on his own goal line and goes down into the ground, 5 metres out.
Yeah, good set from Lakes. They went a whole length of the field and got to their kick. That was a very good set. That was better. What exactly you're looking for, just to settle things down.
Well, decent Favielli. That was Rafferty's rules there for a minute. The ball was knocked down out of the play the ball as the dummy half threw it away, and then Thiessen Favielli saw fit to throw an offload 5 yards out from his own line. Poor old Adam Bettridge.
He's not that old. He's looking old, but
he'd be looking at after this if they keep doing things like that.
There's a new segment called Ground. What is it?
What grinds Adam's gears?
He should be talking about not completing sets.
Here, there's another one.
There you go.
Well, this could be the turning point of the first half if Lakes can get a bit of possession off that. We've seen what they were able to do in the last time they were down here. They were able to get the 4 points as the crowd looked on in awe.
Yeah, well, Macquarie got plenty of mistakes in them, so Lakes just need to settle down. And I think if Brad Murray and Chris Adams just settle them down and go through their sets and just kick corners, the points will be on offer.
You didn't mind that new segment, did you, Craig? What grinds your gears?
Well, when I saw it, I was trying to think what grinds mean. I just kept thinking referees, so I thought I'd better not go on it.
This is Ikanofo. He loves to run. He loves the dummy. And Gallen loves to take him into the ground. Demonstrated right there. That's Matt Craig. Wrapped up all in all from Nathan Cantor, who picked up the first try of the match.
I don't mind this kid playing the ball. He looks only a kid, but he's got good feet. He pokes his head through the line every time. Chris Randall. I think he's a good young kid.
So James D. Sachs, away to Adams, back to Murray. Great pass. Burgess, still going chance. He's trying to chance his luck. He might just do that. Somebody needs to put him down. And Blake Gallen does that. Back to Adams. Away to Kelly. Can he get it back, Kelly? Could be 6 more if he can get it back, but he can't. Let's go down to the touchline. Morgan Campbell's down. There's Macquarie come back up with the ball 10 metres out from their own goal line.
Yeah, a couple of worrying signs here for Macquarie. They had the better of the first quarter of this game, and since then, Lakes have just gradually come into it. We've seen them do this over the past couple of seasons. We saw it a lot from them last year. You've got to come up with 80 minutes of effort against this lot. You can't just do it for bits and pieces of 20 minutes here and there. And I think Macquarie just need to steady here, get to their kicks a couple of times, and just look for half-time.
Look, if you look at passages of play and go back and have a look what happened in the last 10 minutes, you'd have Macquarie drop the ball 5 times and Lakes has scored a try and got to the kick the other 4. So that's what petrol levels do. So it's a warm day out
Away
there.
To Kelly. Can he get it back,
so
Kelly? Could be 6 more if he can get it back, but he
give
can't.
You some more oxygen in your
Let's go down to the touchline. Morgan Campbell's down. There's Macquarie come back up with the ball 10 metres out from their own goal line.
Yeah,
just looking at the replay
Macquarie, they had the better
of
the first
the
quarter of this game,
injury.
And since then, Lakes
how it
have just
occurred.
come in.
So we're inside the last 12 minutes of the first half here.
Yeah, he just copped a high shot. Dylan Harton flew out of the line.
Since then, Lakes have just gradually come into it.
Got him on his blind side, and I
this,
think he's a
over
bit of
the
a head
past
clash.
couple of seasons, we saw it a lot from them last
There's nothing
year.
in it, but
come up with 80 minutes.
Again, it just shows you that Lakes had the petrol where they could have defenders shooting out the line. Where in the first 15, 20 minutes they were rocking back on their heels, and they didn't have that because they weren't getting to their kick. So it just shows you what petrol levels can do for you.
So it's Ryan Pywell who's down here. Looks like he's getting some tape around the head.
Yeah, or Poss Pywell. Posse is his nickname. He'll get up as tough as they come.
Got a couple of tries last week for Macquarie up at Maitland. He was very obliging with an interview after the game as well.
Yeah, yep. Poss has never been backwards coming forward, but he was a good young junior at West. Played a few first grade games and needed an opportunity to play regular first grade, which he deserved. And he went to South, had a few years there, and played first grade under Adam. And now obviously Adam's taken the South crew with Scott Briggs and co over to Macquarie, which won't hurt Macquarie.
Craig, you mentioned there about petrol. How do you top it up? If it's getting a bit low, it's running a bit low, how do you fuel the tank?
Yeah, look, what you know is you need to have all your energy in defence. The attack is just that's where you get your petrol levels back up. So if you're gassed, that's where you walk. That's where you get off the ball and get your energy levels back. There is no resting in defence. So in attack, it's just very simple. Get to your kick it out, do what they did exactly here, and this is how the big forwards will get their petrol levels back. That's in defence. There is no petrol levels reserves there. You need to be on top of your game. But for a side that's trying to get their petrol levels back up, they just need to get the outside backs involved, get the back 5 involved, get some scoots going, let the big forwards get a breather and kick it out.
Oh, the rugby league scrum's beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. Some props just thrust a leg out there and hoofed it 15 yards up the field. Beautiful.
Yeah. You a fan of the scrum? Correct?
Sorry?
You a fan of the scrum?
I don't know what else to do, so yeah, I am. I just think we get on with it, and there's nothing else to do. It is our game. It's our, why we play with it too much. I think we've got it pretty well right. Get it in, get it out.
There was a beautiful moment in the game last night in the NRL with Manly chasing the game. Jamie Lyon pretty much put the ball in and then picked it up with the other hand. It was magnificent.
This is the part of the game that we know, and we've observed it, not just last year, but also 5 rounds leading into this, where Lakes can be at their peak if the opposition allow them to. Let's see what they can come of this. Down by 4 points. 9 minutes out from half-time. Adams goes away to Diaz. That's the 20-metre line. The pendulum, is it about to swing? Back Lakes' way. Ikanofo puts it on the toe, played at by Macquarie, and they put it over the touchline.
Again, just Lakes Lakes have been doing well now for 18 months. Is got through their sets. Somebody's come up with a nice little play. We've got the ball back, just grinding you into the ground, and then you'll see the Adams is ducking out of 9, and when he's making metres, you know that the opposition are really starting to struggle. So he picks that up pretty quick, and then Brad Murray just orchestrating things. Doesn't get tackled very much, Bradley, but he certainly knows what he's doing out there.
So Murray away now to Kennedy. Kennedy, dangerous, elusive, away to Davis. 4 try to bundle him into touch. Penalty.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Johnny's got that right. He was down, and then the second effort.
They're going to take the tap here and get on with it as quickly as they can. Adams away to Murray. He gives it away to Josh Diaz. 12 metres away. Back there now to Sullivan. Murray cuts out one, finds Kennedy. He's gone without it. Back down we come to the 10 for a scrum.
Yeah, a little bit surprised they had a look at play 2. I thought they would have settled one more and then had a look, but just a little bit excited. It certainly was on, but the young fullback come through a little bit hot and couldn't hang on to the pass. So, but they've still got field position, and I think they're right back into this game with 6 minutes to go.
Fullbacks now are so important to those set plays, aren't they? The way they come up into the line, and I think I mentioned it earlier with Goulmere out of the team today and Kennedy in. It just changes the fluency of the team a little bit. And I think we've seen it a couple of times where the timing's been just out.
6 minutes out from half-time.
Oh.
What a pass out the back door.
Very brave.
They got away with it. It worked.
Especially this close to half-time, because you know the coach has a fair chance of remembering it.
So that's the 30-metre line. That's Burgess and Sullivan in the tackle there. So bashing and barging way through the middle, aren't they? They've come close to the halfway line. Look for the kick. There it goes. Downfield. It came off the side of the boot, and it's gone out on the fall.
Yeah, too many errors. They'll pay for this eventually. I think, as I said, I think they've probably only completed 1 out of the last 6. Just very interesting, Danny Vaughan, when he was at his best, it was right-hand offload. He was just too strong. He'd hold it there, and he had it locked there again. But you'll know when he's back, when he's got that right-hand offload going. Very dangerous in local league.
Speaking of fuel, are they about to up the ante here, the Seagulls? 6 minutes out from half-time. A try in this one. This is Sullivan. Still going. That's Chris Adams getting involved. Fires it out the back. Kennedy comes out wider. With the ball is Josh Charles. Chris Hyde in the tackle there with Favielli. Back to Adams. Away to Murray. Murray cuts out one. Finds the 16 in chance. Burgess. Blake Gallen over the top there. Downstairs, I think you'll find that was Danny Vaughan. Back to Adams. He'll kick for himself. Trouble! Hits the post. Oh, they've gone without it, the entire squad. So close, yet so far for the Seagulls.
Well, that was fruit salad there. Anyone could have landed on that. I think it was Simon Allen who was on the ground and just sort of made a despairing clutch as the ball went past. And if it hadn't hit the goalpost, the curtain was coming down. That was going to be a
back
try.
to Adams. He'll kick for himself. Trouble! Hits the post. Oh, they've gone without it, the entire squad.
He just picked his moment perfectly and very nearly came up with points.
Well, this is their moment to pick. If they can cross here, Noonan will be a very happy camper. That's Brad Murray.
Brad Murray getting tackled. It's a rare moment.
That's Chris Adams. He lines up Jay Sullivan. He's within 2 metres. Vaughan gets off him. Back to Adams. Cuts out one. Away now to Kelly. He goes himself. He'll score. The 5/8's over. Jack Kelly. We said it was brewing. It was bubbling. It's 8-all. Kick to come.
Yeah, that was coming, wasn't it? We've said it. We've been talking about it. I think that's 7 sets now they've got through. Chris Adams got him the repeat set, and I like this Kelly. I said right foot, he's very strong. He knows what he's doing. He's got good numbers, good lines on the outside of him, and he's got the defence wondering what he's up to. He's come up with a try assist early off the boot, and this time he's backed himself. So he's a good young kid.
Well, I was just about to say it actually. Jay Sullivan's coming off the bench in this side now. The premiership winning 5/8 from last year has been relegated to the bench to accommodate Jack Kelly. So they obviously think a lot of him. And that's one of those things that premiership sides do, isn't it? A few minutes before half-time, Craig's sides, when he was at Western Suburbs, were absolutely terrific at it. They would keep pushing right up until half-time and sink
Chris Adams.
just before the break.
He lines up. Jay Sullivan.
Should now be in the lead.
He's within 2 metres. Vaughan gets off him. Back to Adams. Cuts out one. Away now to Kelly. He goes himself. He'll score. The 5/8's over. Jack Kelly. We said it was brewing. It was bubbling.
And you see who he found there. He found Danny Vaughan and Simon Allen, two big forwards on the edge, tied, good feet, had the ball out in front of him, did everything right, and I think he's a good kid.
So Lakes go back to the front. Probably been a 60-40 or even 70-30 split of possession. Oh, here's a mistake. Not what they needed leading into the break.
Oh, don't you? A coach killer there. How long to go? So, yeah, everyone's going to get into trouble now. Just back on West, mate, they didn't make mistakes because there was a grumpy coach in the dressing shed.
They knew better.
So John Taylor just looking around at the charges from both of these sides, saying, come on, guys, let's move quicker to the scrum here. Players not so happy with that.
Don't agree. He'd be looking for a breather for sure. He's 45.
He's after his orange juice. He's 2 minutes away from having it. Back to Tafali Eli. He'll score! He reached out and scored! Oh, Dean Noonan, how would he be thinking, the coach of the Seagulls right now?
Well, I'd say he'd be fairly crook about that. There wasn't anything on. They just went wide. And Thiessen Favielli, they say that a change of pace is as good as blind pace, and that was just Favielli able to go through the gears there. They were going sideways. There wasn't a lot happening. And then all of a sudden, a change of gear, and bang, he was gone.
Yeah, I think he put the big fend on Josh Charles there. So a couple of things there. The error from the kickoff's a big no-no with a minute to go. And then just a simple two-pass play out to big centre. And one-on-one, he's put the big fend out and he's just gone around him. So that's a soft try, not one that you really want on half-time.
Having it. Back to Tafali Eli. He'll score! He reached out and scored! Dean Noonan, how would he be thinking, the coach of the Seagulls right now?
Well, I'd say he'd be fairly crook about that. There wasn't anything on. They just went wide. And
so that was a soft one.
They say that a change of pace is as good as blind pace, and that was just Favielli able to go through the gears there. They were going sideways. There wasn't a lot happening.
This grass hasn't had water for a while.
Gear and bang, what are we in, water restrictions out here or something? What's
Probably
going on?
Grade 6, grade 7? What's going on?
Can't even see the cricket pitch anymore.
I reckon this is to do with this late Macquarie amalgamation business. And cost cutting, fit for the future.
There's grass out there, but it's white.
Yeah, looks like the fairways at St Andrews or something.
It's like how I mow my lawn, so I don't have to come back for a month. I get it down that low.
Big kick this for Favielli. This is going to be a close game.
Well, he'll want to get it up in the air with this breeze swirling around, and hopefully it may assist.
I'll back him out. He's on his wrong side.
You're right what you say, Peter. The breeze was going Lake's way as we see the kick.
Looks okay off the boot. It's a ripper. What a kick from the sideline. Leading into half-time, Macquarie go back to the front, 12-10.
Absolute beauty. What you said is absolutely right. That wind was really favouring Lakes, but it's starting to really swirl around. We can just see those flags, those teardrop banners that are on the other side of the field. They're going one way and then the other, which indicates the breeze is starting to swirl.
Don't go anywhere at half-time. We've got the highlights from the grand final coming up.
Yeah, I think if you're a Macquarie fan, you can go somewhere. That's half-time.
There's the siren in the background. I'll go to you first, Craig, as we just see this kick going into the in-goal area, and Simon is just going to take it dead. Noonan, what's he going to say to his charges?
Look, I think he's just going to drag them back to what they did well there for that 20 minutes before that little soft try. I think they, he wouldn't have been happy with their enthusiasm in the first 15, 20 minutes the way they come out of the shed. But, I saw Chris Adams just steady them and they went forward, and then they got completed 7 sets in a row and they scored 2 tries. So I think he'll calm them down, and obviously it's a big second half. It'll be how they start the game. The first 10 minutes out of the sheds is what he'll be focusing on.
Craig Miller there. Fantastic to have his analysis in our commentary box. What we'll do, we'll take the highlights from last year's grand final and we'll come back for the next 40 minutes. Here's the grand final of 2015. What a fairy tale grand final for the league. Macquarie up against Lakes. Well, here we go for the 2015 Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final. This could be the quickest Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final try in history. James Barker, what a try from one end of the field to the other. Inside the first set of 6. 4-0 with a kick to come. That was quick. That was a blizzard. And that was Schmidl. Back then out of Jeffrey. He takes it hard and straight into Josh Hayes. Well, the pendulum is about to swing back into Macquarie's favour. They're attacking. This is Manson. Back to Sumner. Back to Jeffrey. Held up in the tackle there by Chris Adams. 3 minutes gone. What a start. Now it comes back to Matt Jeffrey.
I think there was an obstruction there, Peter. It was Blake Gallen and Matt Jeffrey, the 2 bald heads running at the line together.
Back to Sumner, ricocheted, could be play on. Dialu's got the ball, out the back to Jeffrey. He's still going. It's the last tackle. Can he reach over the line? He can, but he's held up. Empty-handed here. Back to Gallen. He's close. He's going to score. Murray, he says, let's play it up the other end. He finds Manson at the back. He goes himself. He's through. He's away. He comes down to Mackin. Great try-saving tackle.
The 7th change with 27 to go. I was thinking the whole first half.
Here they go, Ben. We'll come back to you. This is Sullivan. He's been smashed. They need to lift. Is it the set of 6 they're going to lift? Here's a bust. Here's a break. Where's the support? Schmidl takes the tackle. Last tackle now for Lakes. Are they lifting? Murray, he takes it to the line. He offloads it to Harton. Ball comes out, Macquarie ball. 21-year-old in his 8th first grade game. Now to Adams. Overlap out here. Where's the support? Back to Mack and they're over. Matt Craig has scored a try for Lakes in the corner. We said momentum was swinging back their way. And a set of 6 later, Matt Craig is over in the corner. That's Adams again. Away now to Murray. They want the runner to come back on the inside. That's exactly what they've got. They're running away. This is the 4 in Ikanofo. A metre out. Scorpions back on their own goal line. Back then out to Murray. Manhandled. They can't bring him into the ground. Last tackle. Plays it back to Chris Adams. Elusive, dangerous. Was he taken away from the ball? They've lost the ball, Lakes. Will he give a... Yeah, well, he's just saying a knock on here right on in their own goal line. Just keeps on going. Adams inside the 40. Played at by Hay. Manson collecting it.
Great chase. Absolutely terrific chase. You could see what Mitch Manson was up to there.
Last tackle now for the Seagulls. Back to Adams. He finds Murray. He's kicking for Mackin. Mackin may get it now. Mackin's got it. Mackin might score. What a great grand final try.
What a finish.
That has to be awarded. And it is. Jack Mackin, 19 years of age, has come up with an absolute stellar grand final try. What an absolute exhibition from the fullback.
And as we see, he goes over in the corner, he leads with that right hand, and it's the first thing that touches the ground. It's a brilliant bit of work from Jack Mackin. It's the sort of taking of a half chance that can change a game, and that's exactly what it's done, because with 15 minutes to go, Macquarie, are hearing the footsteps well and truly, and there's no need for a video ref. That's a try.
12 metres away, back to Adams. He finds Murray. They're looking again for a possible try.
Got one.
And they might have just got it again. They've got 2 grand final tries in the space of 2 minutes. Oh, Lakes, they're coming home all right. They've gone to the front. They lead by 20 to 18. Kick to come.
Josh Charles it was. Josh Charles got up for the bomb, and he was just too good in the air, and you can see there on our cameras right now, the Lakes fans are partying in the stands. Don't worry about Laurie Nichols. They're going absolutely tonto. They've seen that lead disappear, and they've got to pick themselves up and find another try. This is going to be a ripper last 10 minutes.
That's Hayden Jeans. Props don't run this far. He can, though. He's coming down to Manson. He takes on the fullback. 20 metres out. No dummy half.
6 to go.
6 more tackles. Lost it on the first. Penalty from right in front. Penalty from right in front.
He got the fumbles when he dived into the ruck there, Dalu. So as the kick goes over, suddenly Lakes are 6 points in front. It's been a blizzard of points, hasn't it? In the time it takes you to blink, it's been 14 or 10 or 14 points all of a sudden.
6 point margin here. Murray, away to Mackin. He goes himself. He's got the try line in front of him. Last tackle. Gallen goes a dummy half. Back then out of Moran. He's going to test. Matt Craig. It doesn't come down to Matt Craig. Delu's got the ball. He puts on the toe. Might get it back. It could be 6 more tackles. The destiny. It's in the Scorpions' hands right now.
This is the best attacking team in the competition. They've
lost the football. Hello. Randall Briggs has put down a firing ball.
Commentators curse strikes.
And they counter-attack. That's what you call great grand final tackles. If they can get across, they'll be aiming as quickly as possible towards the post. The ball's gone halfway back to Port Macquarie. Picked up by the Seagulls. And now they're away. They're up over the 40. They're going to be close to touch. What about the pass over the top of the head of Josh Charles? Gives Macquarie another opportunity. This is Isaac Briggs. This is Sumner. What a game of Newcastle Rugby League. Right here on the home of Newcastle Rugby League. Bar TV. Now to Shamidal. Last tackle now. Hay calling for it. Hay might get it in a minute. It could be play on. Lakes come away with the ball. And now they counter-attack. They're over the 30. They're over the 40. The foot race is on. Who's going to have the gas? They're still going. Oh, what a tackle. Tackle there by Matt Hay.
Josh Charles is a bit crook here. He might have caught one around the head.
Chris Adams, a dummy half. Have they got another field goal in him? Brad Murray.
No.
He's missed it.
I don't know if it was necessarily the wisest thing to do. It would have finished the game if he'd kicked it, but it will give Macquarie one play to win, to keep themselves in the grand final.
10 seconds to go in the grand final.
2 plays, let we say.
That's Gallen. The countdown here.
Oh no, they're not going to get another one. Well,
it's over. The grand final has been won by Lakes United. They've been able to come back from the dead and defeat the Macquarie Scorpions.
Pitch invasion, Peter.
The final score, Lakes 24, Macquarie 18. This is the moment Lakes fans have been after. Premiers in the Newcastle Tooheys Cup for 2015. And welcome back for the second half here. Impeccable timing. Both of the sides are out on the field. It will be Macquarie running left to right for the second half. A try right on the bell pretty much has put Macquarie up. Can they go on with it in the second half? Time will tell. I'm joined by Craig Miller and Morgan Campbell for the Newcastle Rugby League. thanks to Top Better, our best friends in 2016, along with Cornelius Crump and Benedict Waste Recycling. The Tui's Cup, the second half, about to get underway. We're just waiting for the referee. What's going on? Where is he, Craig?
It's one of Johnny's best. He doesn't rush. He runs the show, so he'll come out when he wants.
As the Seagulls going across the screen, flapping their wings. Could that be an omen for the home side in the second half? Time will tell.
Probably get a better game without him.
Where could he be? Where could he be?
He'd be getting a massage.
No wonder he's not in a rush coming back out. Has he ducked over to the club? Does he love Keno?
No, I think Tom's a better ref anyway. Get Tom out there. Don't tell him I said this.
No, just between me and you, mate.
Yeah, you want to hope he doesn't watch this later. You'll be in trouble. Oh, here we go.
Well, here they come now. A bit of a Bronx cheer.
It's not like in Hollywood. See, he wanted to cheer.
He knew he was on the live stream.
That'll be the first time you've ever had a cheer for referees coming onto the field. I suspect it'll be the last for a while too.
He's still the best in the comp.
Of course, sponsored by the good guys. So we're back here with Craig Miller, Morgan Campbell down on the touchline. And we're underway, 40 down, 40 to go. We've just enjoyed the grand final highlights from last year. Now we're about to come back down to earth.
Just on John, I suppose I can make comments now that I'm not refereeing in the competition and burning myself, but why is he the best referee in the competition for so many years? Because he understands it better than anyone else. He understands the rules, obviously, but he understands the local footy and what needs to be done for the better of the game, and I think he does that better than most.
Great reference there from Craig Miller. Craig, with your knowledge, hopefully you won't be far out yourself making a Newcastle Rugby League comeback. Hopefully, if work allows you to, you'd love to have another crack. It's in your blood. We love having you here as well.
I definitely miss it, but I've got a pretty big job up at Scone, so it takes a bit of my time away. But I'll never say never. But at this stage, there's nothing happening.
Let's see what can come of this.
Look, I really think the side that just settles down and plays this 40 minutes with a bit more composure and understands the importance of getting through their sets, and the game will open right up and they'll get plenty of points out of just doing that.
I get the feeling that Macquarie have got enough weaponry to get past Lakes today. They've just got to stop giving them the ball. As you say, if they play with a bit of discipline, they're a big chance.
So just outside the 40, the kick goes down to Matt Craig. He's got the ball in his possession. And he runs straight into Simon Allen. Along there with centre three-quarter in Nathan Cantor. So Craig plays it back.
What do you reckon that adjustment was there? Maybe 3 inches, 4 inches?
It's just Johnny being Johnny and making sure that everyone does things properly.
Indeed.
So Chris Adams got more involved as the Macquarie Scorpions allowed him to get involved. Let's see what can come from that man, the representative player who will head out to Dubbo next weekend to take on Canberra. You'll be able to watch that match live and exclusive on Sunday from Apex Park. We've got all 6 grades, including OzTag, coming your way from Dubbo next Saturday. Then, of course, we come back to Newcastle for Sunday's clash between Western Suburbs and Lakes United. As we see now, Matt Hay going away to field the ball before the welcoming reception committee comes through on him. 3 Seagulls flock on him. Now we see Simon. Dangerous! Straight through! He comes down to Kennedy. He steps. He weaves. He's away. Adams is after him, and Adams grinds him into the ground. What a run by Simon.
A great run, but I tell you, there's a special play there. Who was the last one to get him? A hooker. Tell me how many hookers do that in the local league.
Only that one. Gallen cuts out one. Macquarie through Shamidal. He got the ball out the back. There's a chance out wide. Oh, it's touched. Well, that touched saved a certain try.
It certainly did, but I don't know if he needed to
No.
throw the pass decent, Favielli. They had the momentum there. If he'd have just kept going, I think he would have just barged his way through and scored. But you've got to say, it's what we were talking about before. They've got the artillery today, Macquarie. The attack is looking very sharp. Matt Simon getting into space there, and that's only going to get better for him as legs grow tired in this second half. He's going to be one to really look out for in the rest of this game. But that might become very important.
No, that was a try, definitely a try. He just needed to get down low. He was going to score it for all money. A big frame like that, he just needed to get down low. But they got the ball back.
Through Simon. He might get it back, Simon. He does get it back. He steps again. What a game he's having. Their fullback, Matt Simon. Away to Subner. Put down there. 8 metres away from the goal line. Back to Vaughan. Vaughan's close. Quick play the ball. That's his experience on display there. Back to Foster. Murray holds him up over the line.
Not the ideal result there for Macquarie. That little hold up over the line cost them 10 metres and just slows the momentum down. They were really starting to build.
So back to the left-hand side. Away this time it comes to the 12 in Simon Allen. Back there now to Noble. Across it comes this time. There's the kick. Where's the chase? It was intended for the in-goal area. It may even end up in the in-goal area if they can still drive them back.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. What play was that? Play 3 or 4?
Certainly wasn't the end of the count, and I don't know that anybody other than Chris Hyde knew that kick was coming. That's an opportunity wasted, and it means that that knockdown in the corner becomes very, very important.
Yeah.
So Marcel comes away with it to the 20-metre line here.
Yeah, I think Macquarie got you with the jerseys again. That's not Danny Vaughan in 16.
Yeah, that's Adam Grew,
That's
I think.
Grew.
Yeah.
So they've had a switch again at half-time. They love it. Well, their whole back line has been changed this afternoon, and that is Matt Simon.
Maybe you can do what grinds my gears next week too, Adam Bettridge. So listen, Macquarie, if you write someone down under a number in the program, make them wear that number in the game.
Well, I think that comes up to the league. If Macquarie are getting away with it and for whatever reason, good luck to them. I think it's the league. It should be something policed by the league. It's very simple. You get told as a club to do the right thing, and you should do it.
Now, that ball came out there off Simon Allen. There was a hint of a strip. He certainly was appealing for it. But the pounce of the ball goes Lake's way here, and suddenly
They're all offside.
They can start a set from just on halfway.
Sullivan. He hasn't changed his jersey. So the Seagulls, they're sticking to the script. One might even say scripting their own script.
What happens with Macquarie when you play him? John's got to be so focused on the ruck. He sometimes lets the 10 go because there's so much happening at the ruck. And I suppose that's the two referee philosophy. But if you watch John and, with Macquarie, there's always niggle. There's something going to blow up at the ruck. So he gets so focused on that, sometimes they creep in front of him.
Adams lost it forward in trying to get that pass away, I think you'll find.
Yeah, I'm worried about this game. Neither side knows how to settle down. We've come out of the sheds and we're tossing the ball around and not coming up with it. So it's not pretty, but it's certainly tough out there.
Yeah, unusual for Chris Adams, that sort of pass. It really wasn't on. And turns the ball over pretty cheaply to Macquarie again there.
Yeah, I think that's an indication Chris is frustrated with his side not going forward. His forwards not doing what they're supposed to do. That realistically, all he wants them to do is go forward, find their front and play the ball quick. And when they're not doing that, he's trying to be creative. So we've just got a bit of a stoppage in play.
There's an injury behind the play here. I think it might be it's Jordan Noble out the back. And he's heading out to the wing by the look.
Well, I still put Chris Hyde in there. I haven't seen him do much at 6, with all due respect. I'd have him at 9 every day of the week. So maybe we might see a little bit of spark there. He's very creative. I think he's a waste at 6.
You're right, though. It's interesting that you said that it was the most important position in this competition. That speed, with players, I guess, who aren't fully professional, having a dummy half who can up the tempo out of the ruck, I guess means that it can take advantage of legs that are likely to grow more tired than they otherwise would in a professional competition.
Look, the philosophy is that the ball is alive at that point, so that's the greatest opportunity or the earliest opportunity you got to attack. So you need to attack right from that point. Ball in the air takes time, slower defences can be in your face, but if your nine's going forward, and I think, realistically, if you go back through the last 10 years and have a look at the local competition, the Matt Thurstons and now Chris Adams, what did they do? They controlled the ruck, and if you do that in the local league, I think you'll go pretty close.
Kennedy getting down low, pished him up and pushed him over the try line. Goal line drop out here.
I tell you what, Adam Bettrick's very pleased with that. There's some very enthusiastic applause happening. I can just see him in the grandstand up here. You can always tell what he's thinking. He's very, very emotive when something goes their way, and even more emotive when it doesn't.
There's Adam Bettrick on your screen right now, barking out the instructions.
He's getting grumpy. That's good. His first few years, he's certainly a good coach, Adam. He always has been. He's been through the Knight system. He was a really good young coach there. He done his apprenticeship there, and he's very, very passionate. He'll be very good for Macquarie.
He got something out of that south side, didn't he? Lifted them a few places up the ladder, got them playing some pretty good footy.
Yeah, no, he's a great coach. He was a great junior reps coach at the Knights, and he's now a very accomplished first grade coach in this competition.
Jordan Noble is with it. They go short. Are they about to test the defence of Lakes United here? They're back on their own goal line, the Seagulls. Macquarie leading by a try. Looking to extend it. Seagulls defending their hearts out. Gallen back to Hyde. Away it comes out of Varvey Eli. He'll go himself and he'll score. He's over. Varvey Eli has got down and Taylor awards the try. 18-10 kick to come.
Well, that's probably what he should have done a couple of minutes ago. That time there was no worrying about passing. He just put his head down, headed for the line. And a bloke his size is always favourite with defenders running backwards. But that was good backline move from Macquarie. It was pretty crisp. And they've taken the advantage. The first try this second half, it was always going to be a big one.
Oh, I think Macquarie have found where they're going to score their points. They've found a pretty good matchup with Josh Charles, and that's twice now. He should have scored one a minute ago. He certainly scored one off the scrum just before half time. I think they've found their match, and Chris Hyde did well there in six, I must say. Got the ball out and knew exactly where to go, and that was a good try. I think they'll be back down there a little bit this half.
For viewers who are watching at home and wondering what's going on there, that's Adam Bettrick that was just on your screen, the Macquarie coach. He's not talking to himself, I can assure you. We can't see it, but on the other side, he's got an earpiece in there, so he's nattering away. And
I'm sure I saw someone said he's lost some weight. I don't know if he has.
Maybe in his big toe.
Didn't you ask him that?
I did ask him that, and he looked at me quite queerly. But he was just putting it down to the baggy clothes. But here's the kick now from the try scorer, Thiessen Varvey Eli. Well, he comes under a number of names. For the last 2 years, we call him Varvey Eli. But I wanted to go down and make sure it was his proper name today. So I knocked on the door. Didn't have a clue who I was. Not many do. And he said, no, it's Varvey Eli. So we're going to stick with this. Varvey Eli looks okay from the touchline. It's a beauty. The crowd go wild here at Carl Oval. It's the Battle of the Lakes. So far, Macquarie doing so well. 18-10, 20-10 with that kick. It's a beauty.
Yeah, no, he's scoring tries, and I would have backed him out both times, so it shows you what sort of a punter I am. But no, he's certainly been very effective today. And again, I just don't see Lakes being calm and getting through what they need to do. Maybe those changes from last year and a younger side, it might just take a little bit longer to gel.
Scorpions. This is Foster. Solomon Foster. From the Pacific Nations. Comes across here. As we see now, Jordan Noble to the halfway line. Back to Sumner. Cuts out Gallen. Charging forward this run, aren't they? This is Schmidl. Looks to offload, but Adams denies him of that opportunity.
probably something to be concerned about for Lakes. Macquarie have been putting quite a few points on today without recourse to Josh Schmiedel, who has been kept fairly quiet by Lakes so far today. It's been other players doing the work. But if he gets half an opportunity in the last 20 or so minutes of this game, he'll be a real problem.
Did well there. Fullback there on that occasion in Kyle Kennedy. They're close to going over the western touchline. That was Josh Charles. That's Dylan Harton in 11. Not wanting to go onto the ground. Schmiedel doesn't allow him to, but I think Schmiedel has just given away a penalty here. He does. So Hyde.
Yeah, he seemed a little bit soft. I mean, there was just a bit of back and forth in the tackle, but it didn't slow it up too much. But now Lake's galloping forward. That's a big carry.
The crowd getting behind them.
Chris Adams knew exactly what to do. He got on with it. He got straight to the kick. He wants to get this going. He needs to get his blokes on the front foot, and he understands that you're not going to do it by just walking to the tap. You need to get the tempo up and change the momentum of this game.
So Taylor's having a word to Andrew Sumner here. 2 penalties on the trot. So just bubbling away a little bit here. Lakes with a chance to grab some momentum.
A lonely seagull looks at Murray kicking this into touch. Now Murray trying to find his flock of players, and he finds the 14 in Callan Adams. Plays it back to his brother. Gets it away now to Boss. Lost it out the back, dived on by the Scorps.
Yeah, pushing the pass, second tackle. We've heard Craig talk about it a lot today. It's just that little bit of discipline. They didn't need to do it that early in the set. Now a penalty.
What happens? The scoreboard makes you do that. And without the experience of Adams, and I know he'd be filthy, but young blokes don't understand what the pressure of the scoreboard does. So you think you've got to score points, but what you don't realise is you've got plenty of time to do that, and you just got to be patient. But they're all hard lessons in footy, and sometimes you can do it, and sometimes you can't.
That's Josh Schmiedel. Boss gets off him. They're about to go over the halfway line. Adam Swadling. 43 metres out from the Seagulls line. This is Gallen. Goes short. Play on. Briggs got a great ball to Sumner. Sumner takes on the fullback. Can he get it down?
Yep. He can.
He can, all right. It's a try to Sumner, the captain of the Scorpions. Never in doubt, was it?
Well, there'll be some recriminations here. I think there was a hint of forward about that pass, the first one there, and it got it away to Jacob Briggs, or Isaac Briggs, pardon me. We'll have a look at it on the replay for a bit of clarification. But it was a lovely bit of play, and didn't Andrew Sumner show some pace when he got into the open territory there? That's a big try, though. 24-10, Macquarie opening up a lead here.
Yeah, look, from a coach's point of view, you always track it back to an error, and that try was directly related to the play 2 offload, push the pass. So usually you'll track it back to, when you've got ill discipline like that, it'll bite you. So, I just think that's Lake's poor play and some good football there. And Sumner looks like he's stripped a little bit fitter this year. He looks quicker, a lot leaner. So, he'll be a handful all year for him. And when they get Scott Briggs back in 6, and you got Sumner and Scotty Briggs at 6, and what I've seen so far of young Simon, pretty impressed with him at 1. So, in that tough pack, they're the real deal.
Yeah, they've got a lot of different players who can contribute to the points. That's the thing. They've got good weapons in the back row, classy halves, and plenty of pace across the back line. They're a very well balanced side.
And what I know is every club hates going to Toronto to play them. So they've got that out there that is always a graveyard. That's a tough place to go and get 2 points. So if you can get a win like winning at Carl Oval today, and then you get back home, it's like 4 points.
Well, there's plenty of time here. There's still about 20 minutes, possibly more. So if they can give the crowd some encouragement, they'll get a lift. Let's have a look here. There's a bit of a, what would you call that? A bit of a forearm, I guess, a bit of a whack from Adam Swadling there. I mean, not too much in it, but...
It is Adam Swadling. Are you surprised?
Here's the kick. We're not surprised if he can nail it from this side of the field. He's bringing it back around, but he's just missed it on this occasion. Barbielli, there he is on the screen now. Good game in 4. sixth place coming into this match. Macquarie, if they can go on with it, that will be their 4th victory in 2016. As they kick it downfield and get us back underway, Sunday afternoon football is back. Thanks to Benedict Waste Recycling. Top Better, get in the game at topbetter.com.au. As we see now, this is the big number 8 rolling it forward in Isaac Briggs. Kelly combining there with Sean Boss and Chris Randall. Just short of the halfway line here. This is Gallen. Swaddling came on his inside. Gallen to his feet. Isaac Briggs takes it inside the Seagulls territory before Casey Burgess is in there along with Chris Randall. There's the kick off the boot of Sumner. Puts it along the ground. They're going away to field it right out there on the eastern side of the field. This is Kyle Kennedy. So 22 minutes remaining in the match. 14-point ball game. 3 tries in it here. Marcel Ikanofo goes for a scoot up the middle of the field. Adams. Murray. They're up quickly again, aren't they, on Charles? I think he'll find who's angling towards touch. Levavi Ely gets off him. Murray finds himself going into dummy half on that occasion. Murray, of course, will be going around for the Newcastle Rebels next Saturday when they take on Canberra in Dubbo. Live on Bar TV Sports. Kelly kicking for himself. Gallen puts the shield up. And Macquarie come away with it just short of the halfway line.
Scoreboard again, you think, Craig? Oh, hang on, they might have got away with this. They don't really deserve to, but I think they might have.
Yeah, they got away with that. There's a wrong kick. What's worrying me with Lakes, I'm not seeing any support. I'm not seeing the little things that tell you enthusiasm and petrol levels are good. 2-man tackles, blokes not pushing up with the ball, taking soft options with trying to score off every play. They're all just little things that creep into your game when you're mentally not quite on in the contest.
They were so good at it last year. They would be behind in games. They could find themselves 10 points behind with 15 minutes to go, and they'd stay calm and just keep doing the same thing, But there's been a little bit of panic this season, certainly in this game at least, which we didn't see last year. We've had the seagull noise come over the PA, Peter. It scared the living daylights out of me. For people who are at this game for the first, or at this ground for the first time, they'll be wondering what on earth's going on.
The Seagulls, well, they love a chip. I'm sure the Seagulls who have got the ball would love a try here. That's Harton. They need a try and they need 3. And they've got 20 minutes to do that. Murray, away to Kelly. Back to Adams. 2 metres out. Adams cuts out one. Murray, great ball, lost it though. Did it go backwards? No, first. He'll call. Taylor right on the spot there. He's had a good game, Taylor.
Leave me out of that one.
Morgan, had a good game, Taylor.
Yeah, I think he's been all right. I haven't had too many complaints.
Any complaints, Craig?
Nah, Johnny's a good guy.
I'm still a bit sour on that Cessnock and West Grand Final from about 15 years ago, but that's not really relevant to today. That's just a general comment.
Oh, West must have won that one, did they?
Yep.
Yeah. No, look, Brad's very frustrated out there. He had the back rower into space and he should have took it. I know it's a pressure pass, but Brad's entitled to pass the ball into space, and you've got to catch it in that hit line. So, Macquarie will always show you a little opportunity if you're patient. So, where is Lake's going to get their points from? It's going to be through Kelly, Murray, or Adams. So those 3 are going to be the ones that'll have to create something.
You see it so often in the game now, those little knock-ons or penalties in the play of the ball, and it seems a lot of the time like it could really go either way. Certainly the Macquarie player there thought that there was obstruction or interference with the ball, but on that occasion the referee said knock on. But in those ruck situations, it must be very hard to tell. It often seems like it's basically a coin toss as to whether it's a knock-on or a penalty.
Yeah, look, it's local footy, as I think you said it earlier, they're not fully professional, so there's going to be a bit of frustration out there, and what you need to be able to do as a good footy side is put up with the 50-50 calls and just get on with what your job is.
Yep.
Well, they know what their job is here. It's a simple equation. Points. Kelly goes himself. Here's an overlap. Can they get those points? They might just do it. They may have just done it. Macquarie, will he be denied? No, he won't.
Well, we're going to have a look at a replay of this finish because that was outstanding. If he's got that down in that corner, that's as good as anything you would see in the National Rugby League or anywhere else. Matt Craig, he had a lot of work to do there. It was well worked.
Look, I think if you go to the National Rugby League, it'd be a no try for obstruction. If
Well,
you watch Kelly
that.
run around one of his players,
Yep.
runs around one of his players, you can't do that, but it's still got to be scored.
Let's have a look. Ball. Oh, that's marvellous.
It's good footy.
That's the way they do it now, these wingers. They want everything else but the ball to be in the air. It's incredible. But I think you're right, Craig. There was a definite hint of run around there. That would have been a shepherd even before the new obstruction rules, I think, the way he ran behind his player.
Yeah, it's one of those grey points in the game. I watch NRL and I don't know what's right and what's wrong anymore. Basically, when we grew up, if you ran around somebody, it was a penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's become very technical now. But it provides Lakes with a bit of a chance here, and it might just get the crowd involved. 24-14, kick to come. Murray's been having a bit of a rickety day with the boot, but...
I'll back him in. He loves these moments.
He loves pressure.
Yeah, he's put a few over in big moments in the last couple of years, especially at Lakes.
A couple against me, actually.
This is pressure. This time pressure's got to him. 10-point ball game. We've got a game. Don't go anywhere. 15 minutes to go here on Bar TV Sports. Sunday afternoon football with Morgan Campbell, Craig Miller in the commentary box here this afternoon in front of a decent crowd here at Carl Oval. Around 1,300, I'd say, in here this afternoon watching this spectacle. Simon with the ball placed. Scorpions can't afford to switch off. Adams is about to get the ball in his possession. Looking around, trying to find a flock of seagulls. The human variety on that occasion. Plenty of seagulls flocking from the skies above here at Carl Oval as well.
It's really a mental challenge for both these sides now, isn't it? I guess it's a question of whether Lakes can stay calm chasing points and whether Macquarie can just be disciplined enough, keep it tight and get themselves home. It's really going to come down to which of these sides has the better approach to this last 15 minutes.
Well, stay with us.
So there's no push. Yeah, so the ball's going up. It's quite lonely. We're waiting for the big backline movement. There should have been push on the last one, and then these bloke defenders wouldn't be out here being able to aim up. It's good feet, but again, it's just no push on the football. I just don't see Lakes having the necessary enthusiasm to get ourselves out of trouble here.
He was in two minds there, Murray, whether to throw it out wide or whether to put in a kick downfield, and the kick's gone into touch. But there's trouble back here.
Cramp, I think, for it's Kyle Kennedy, pardon me, who I think is down. And I think, well, if this bit of treatment's anything to go by, I suppose it looks like cramp, but he looks like he's in a fair bit of pain. He's just getting to his feet now.
Getting to his feet now on screen. There he is there, the young fullback. And Kyle Kennedy just dropping back into the defensive line here. So the Scorpions 14 minutes away from taking the 2 competition points back across the lake. Can they go the distance? It's all in front of the Seagulls. Barvielli. Good scoot from dummy half. They're charging with power. They're charging with enthusiasm. Betrich will be liking what he is seeing thus far. Even better run here. Down to the Seagulls' 40-metre mark. Shamidal to his feet. Finds Pyle. Hyde kicking in down to the squeezy little corner. And they've thumped him right on his 10.
I know we've talked about him not being a natural 5'8", Chris Hyde, but that was exactly what you would want your 5'8" to do. He put the kick into the corner, found the grass, and then led the chase. That's a good bit of work.
Combining there in the tackle was Jordan Noble from Macquarie. Inside the last 12 and a half minutes here on Sunday afternoon football. Lakes and Macquarie. Head to head, shoulder to shoulder. Gallen in the tackle. Along with Shamidal. Through the arms of Adams. Finds Murray. Back to Kelly. This is Simon Allen. He's got space in front of him, the fullback. But the gap closes and he's been picked up and driven by Jack Kelly. What a game he is having. The 5'8" from the Seagulls. Now this is Matt Hay. Kelly's in there again.
Yeah, I'm just worried Lakes aren't throwing enough at this big Macquarie pack, and the likes of Smeal and Allen and Gallen and Swadling and Danny Vaughan, they're not really too stressed about what's happening out here, and they're
oh dear.
that won't help you, but
No, it's a knock on there. I think it's Jordan Noble who was just going to go on a little scamper out of dummy half there, but he forgot to pick the ball up first time around. Interesting, the tactics from Macquarie here. Ty Alchin is about to come on. I could be wrong. I don't think he's been on yet today, but he's their 9th change. He's got the number 9 interchange card in his hand, so they're only going to have one left for this last 15 minutes of the game. Lakes, by contrast, have just made their 7th change, so they've got a few more in hand, so they might have the fresher legs chasing the game at the end here.
Ikanofo, just short of his halfway, Craig.
I think that's always a problem with Macquarie because they've got such a big pack they have to roll through. And they probably miss that. I know Blake Gallen's an 80-minute player, but when you've got them big forwards,
sometimes 140-minute player.
Yeah,
last week.
But when you get them big forwards, you have to roll through. You're going to get no awards for holding on to replacement. So you need to make sure that you use the whole 10.
The crowd, are they about to lift? The home side here. If the crowd ever wanted to get involved and cheer home their side, this is the time to raise the atmosphere. That was flat. 2 metres away. 10-point ball game. Adams. Away now to Murray. Away to Kelly. Ikanofo. Still going, Marcel.
Got to go the same way. Got to go the same way.
Adams looking to come back on the inside. Great ball there under the post.
Beauty.
How good was that to watch?
Oh, hang on.
There's a bit of a dust-up back in play.
Well, not only is there a dust-up back in play, but there's a player on the ground. I would imagine it was Jack Kelly who must have been collected after he threw that pass. It was a beautiful bit of play. It was Chris Adams trusting him enough to ignore the numbers to his right and come back to the left. Kelly got the ball through the flat pass. The front rower there, Casey Burgess, ran a great line and crashed over underneath the posts. We have a look on the replay. It's a really good bit of instinctive football.
Yeah, I think we said Chris Adams or Jack Kelly will come up with something and to get their points, and we had two out of the 3 that we thought, and it was certainly on the right, but they knew what they were doing, and this try scorer pushed up in the middle. Cop one a bit late off Blake Gallen, but as I said, playing first grade, you've got to expect that, and the kid's he's up on his feet and he's having a good game. We've got a game on our hands now.
Certainly do.
Murray converts. The crowd lifting the Seagulls home.
What Macquarie can't do now is clock watch. So now the scoreboards still can't play a part, but also the clock. So if you're going to try and protect a 24-20, you'll get your pants pulled down. So you've got to stick to what's been working for them and roll them through that middle. And they're not going to defend this lead with 12 minutes to go if they start clock watching.
So Macquarie here, they're not in any rush, are they, to get back to halfway? Taking all the time in the world. Matt Simon.
That was what we were talking about earlier, though, wasn't it, from Lakes? That play, it wasn't anything extravagant. It wasn't a heap of offloads or a chip and chase from halfway. Dear. Chris Adams has fumbled that, and the referee said knock back. That's going to be a very popular decision. But it was just a normal football play. The fact that it was 10 minutes to go and 10 points behind, well, that just happened to be coincidence,
Yeah, look, again, if you come back to the reason for the try, you come back to the Macquarie error. You know.
Another one of those 50-50s in the ruck, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Cullen. It's his brother in Chris. Burgess just squatting him off like Northern Territory flies here inside the 40.
Touchline's a threat here. Oh!
Touch judge didn't want to make that call. As we see the pass. Will he pass it? No, he's not. Pye will still going. What a run by the winger.
Well, I was wondering why he bothered to try and catch that. I thought it was heading over the sideline on the full, but once he did, he took it well, tiptoed down the touchline, and then barged off about 5 defenders. It was an inspired charge from Pywell.
That's Alchin. Ball pops out the back. I think you'll find this will bring a penalty. The crowd disagree. Right call, John Taylor.
He's a good ref. You can see that. Knew exactly what was going on, John.
We're going to get a grandstand finish here, Peter. 10 minutes to go. The Lakes crowd booting their team home. This is exactly what we were looking for when we came here today.
The kick for touch is a good one. Found 20 metres off the boot. Shamidal runs straight at James D. Sachs. Away to Noble. Sumner taking him on.
They're going to come back to Fayeli or Thiessen.
Standing in the tackle. Who wants it now? Back to Swadling. The crowd hoping and praying, along with the defensive line here, they can keep them out here. Their prayers have been answered. They've lost the ball. They've lost the ball, Macquarie.
Yeah, big front rowers play 4. You don't want them in the play on play 4. They've done their job. They should be running that block line. I thought it was on a +2 player. Chris Hyde threw his head back. It wasn't the smartest play by Adam. So they'll have to defend this one.
Yeah, I agree with you, Craig. It was really building up on this right-hand side. They've had joy there, and Swadling decided to take it under the wing and keep carrying it up.
Ikanofo plays the ball back. Adams, dangerous. Well, it's there for Lakes to be won. The Macquarie's to lose here. That's Josh Charles. Spinning. Still going, Josh Charles. What a run. Still going over the halfway line.
It was about 15 metres after the
Brilliant
contact.
stuff.
That was incredible.
Adams. Farfielli picks him up along with 2 others. That's Adams again. Giving it away to Josh Diaz. 38 metres out. Last tackle now for the Seagulls. They're going to run it. There's an overlap out here. Ikanofo's got the football. He's away. He's got support. He kicks for Craig. Trouble. Back to the 3 and Ikanofo. 6 more tackles coming up now for the Seagulls.
Well, it must have been because even Greg Ricketts was signalling for it as well as the referee there.
Burgess.
I thought that was a fire drill originally.
4-point ball game. They're up quickly on Murray. It's touch. It's play on. Back away down to Kennedy. They're going to score in the corner. Josh Charles. Josh Charles has scored. We're back level. 24 all. Oh, the crowd go up. They've got a kick from the sideline to possibly win the match.
Aren't they a good football team, this Lakes United side? They're a tremendous team. And it was Josh Charles that started all of this. He made a run on this side of the field from his own 30 and ended up over the halfway line. He took about 15 metres off them after the contact, and then there he is up the other end of the field to finish it off. They've just kept coming here today. It's what we've been saying. They play for 80 minutes. You've got to stick with them. And Brad Murray with a chance here to kick it from almost touch to give them the lead. Well, Craig Miller, you've said it a couple of times, he loves a bit of loves a sideline conversion in front of the crowd. As we have a look at the replay, this was just numbers here. They'd been bashing it up through the middle. They'd sucked a few in and then got it wide. What do you reckon, Craig? Is he sinking this one?
Oh, absolutely. You know, this is Brad Murray at his best here, so I know I'd back him in all day. He, you know, Bradley hasn't had a standout game today, but when it really counts, he'll do what he needs to do, as Brad Murray does. But that's just, I agree with you. I probably haven't been super impressed by Lakes today, but you know, they were 14 down with 16 to go, and we wrote them off, and here they are, got the kick to go in front. So I think good sides do that, even if they're not playing well.
Here's Murray's kick. It looks okay. It's coming around. No!
Nope.
Not much in it, but the touch judges said no.
Tell you what, it was terribly close. It looked good most of the way, and it just arced away late. But what about the noise? I know we've got the effects mics happening here today. How's the racket that's coming through them? It's a great ground, this, because everybody's in the stand, and they're all getting behind them. That was a roar when Josh Charles went over.
We're locked up at 24 all. It's lived up to expectation. That's Adams. He elects to go himself this time there. Crafty, experienced hooker, always eager for work.
Both sides just need to think complete their sets here. There's only a few minutes to go, and neither side need to panic. I know the game's on the line, but you don't want to give up a soft turnover either.
2 minutes to go, I'm told, by the official timekeeper. 2 minutes to go, so I'd say we're getting into field goal territory here. Lakes are going to try and bash this up. I'd be surprised if they could get one over from here with only a couple of tackles up the sleeve.
So Adams going from dummy half. 24 points all with 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Kelly, he pumps it downfield. Simon goes away along with Pywell.
Now they just got to D up and try and get an error.
So Pywell faced with an atrocity in front of him. Couldn't go anywhere. Couldn't beat Burgess.
If they push hard in defence here, even if there's no mistake, they might get a couple of plays.
The Maitland Pickers have knocked off Souths as well at Townsend Oval today.
There you go.
What an upset.
That's a boil-over.
The biggest upset thus far. Their first competition win for the Pickers. Well done to them.
Big set of defence here from Lakes. You can see them lifting. As you say, Craig, they haven't played their best today, but they find a way. They pick themselves up in the important moments.
That's Alchin. There's the kick. Subner. Kennedy looking around. He's got Murray on his left, but he's been collared by the captain in Subner. That was Murray.
Now Lakes can't come up with the error, so Macquarie's big play now is all in defence.
There couldn't be more than a minute to go.
That's Burgess on his back.
Do we go to Golden Point, local league?
No,
if only.
Wish.
I do remember a grand final a few years ago we did.
That's Josh Charles. What a run.
Again, same run. Copy. It's a copy.
25 seconds to go. There's the siren. Burgess takes possibly the last tackle of the match. And it's all over. Well, there you go.
What a game.
What a match.
Outstanding. Those two sides, I mean, both of them had their chances to win it. They both found big plays in big moments. That was absolutely tremendous. Exactly what you'd expect of a grand final replay. These two sides, I know that they probably neither of them played their best. Both of them made mistakes in the game. But I'd be very surprised if they weren't there in the last couple of weeks of the semis.
Craig, I guess it's a prominent moment now. If you're the coach, do you want to play Golden Point at this time of the day?
Oh, no, but I think that should apply right through the whole season, but you're only opening up old wounds for me. But
that's a no?
I'm the only one to ever get beaten Golden Point. But,
Mick Moran's retired now. You don't have to worry about it.
Field goal from heaven. But, no, look, I think that game today was, as I said, it wasn't one that we'll dwell back on, but it was tough. Two good football sides that'll be there at the end of the season, and they're still finding their way. But I think there's some standouts on both sides. I still think Chris Adams hasn't changed my opinion. He lifts his side and all the little things on a highlight tape. He'll be there. And I thought Thiessen on the right-hand side for Macquarie certainly gave him the points. And they probably didn't go back to him enough. I thought they'd go back down there when they got into field position, and they probably missed that opportunity. But all credit to Lakes. They hung in there, and they do what Lakes do very well.
Lakes now take on Western Suburbs next Sunday afternoon at Harker Oval. That's our live stream game.
I reckon that might be a decent scrap.
It will be, but you've also got to remember the country championships are on the Saturday, so West have got so many in that, and it'll probably depend on how they back up. But, yeah, really looking forward to getting out to call that one next Sunday. Definitely the match of the round.
They'll back up. They pride themselves in backing up. However many they've got, they've done it before many times, and I know they'll back up. It's something in rep football. It's very important to them, but it's also their club football, and they won't let their mates down.
Craig, on a performance like that today, West, have you seen much of West this year? How do you think that one will go, mate?
Look, I think West needed the loss yesterday. I think that that monkey is off their back, and I'm sure a quality football side like that will really steel themselves up for next week. As I said, it's probably a little bit difficult backing up, but Lakes have got Chris Adams and Brad Murray backing up also, so that'll just be another good game.
Okay, well, of course, that was Lakes United's second draw of 2016 in the first 6 weeks of competition as well.
I'd love to know when. I know we don't have a David Middleton type in the real NRL, but maybe Matt Harris can go back through the archives. I would be very surprised if there's been a team in the history of this competition who's had 2 draws in the first 6 weeks. It's very unusual. I mean, it's rare to see a draw at all in this competition, so to have 2 so early in the season is very bizarre. But I suppose it shows you that they go to the end of games. They push all the way. And that was what we saw today. They got there on the basis of just being able to lift when they needed to.
Okay, Craig, well, mate, thanks very much for coming along. We appreciate it, and great to have you back in rugby league circles, and I hope it's not too long before you might be, with a coach symbol next to your name.
No, I appreciate it, Pete. I'm just glad I didn't forget most things. The game hasn't changed too much in a couple of months.
No, it's like riding a bike. Great stuff.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Morgan, as always, what was it like down on the touchline this afternoon, mate? Pretty chilly towards the end, wasn't it?
Gets progressively colder, yeah. The 4 o'clock chill had a bit of bite this afternoon. I went from striding in here with a T-shirt at about 2 o'clock to now I've got a jumper and a jacket on, so it's that sort of day. Where winter's taken a bit of time to get here, but I think it's finally arrived.
Okay, guys, well, thanks very much for your input. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we turn off the signal this afternoon. Don't forget, next Saturday, the Amy Country Championships. Bar TV Sports is off to Dubbo. We're going to be live on air from 9 o'clock in the morning with the OzTag. Then, of course, we'll be on air right through to the last clash at 4:15 between Illawarra and Central. I understand the Newcastle Rebels clash is around 2 o'clock. Of course, they're taking on Canberra. So it's a brilliant day of rugby league coming your way from Dubbo on Saturday.
Is there any truth to the rumour you're being sponsored by Strepsils to go on Saturday, doing those 6 games in a row? That's my mail.
You haven't got the call up yet?
No, I haven't got the call up. You're locked in.
Yeah, it's going to be a big day, but we're really looking forward to it. Apex Park, it's a superb venue out there, and really looking forward to getting out to call the Amy Country Championships, and then the week after, we're off to cover the grand final. So, as far as rugby league goes, that's as big as it comes thus far on Bar TV Sports. So on behalf of everybody here this afternoon, Bo pressing the buttons, Brianna behind the cameras, and everyone else that's been able to bring you the pictures, we really do appreciate your time. So that pretty much wraps it up as the Seagulls flop their wings and flap around the ground. It's 24-all between Lakes and Macquarie. Until next Saturday from Dubbo, it's bye for now.